We need to take a much closer look at how these two giant industries really work. Join me, Al Whitney, on In Defense of Humanity, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Central, as we expose the matrix and learn how not to consent to our own destruction.
This is RBN, the Republic Broadcasting Network.
What Really Happened with your host, Mike Rivero. You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you'll find out what the Fukushima's going on.
And aloha, America. Welcome to our show today. It is Wednesday, March 27th, 2019, middle of the weekday, hump day, starting that long, slow glide down to Pauhana Friday, and whatever fate has in store for all of us. Not that I believe in fate. I think predestination was doomed from the start. Anyway, let's get into it. We've got a lot to talk about today. The phone lines are open, 800-313-9443. That's 800-313-9443. Mike is in our control room, ready to just grab that phone, put you on the air with your comments, questions, and opinions. So let's get right on into it. And we are still seeing, and we'll continue to see for quite some time, the fallout from the Robert Mueller report. And basically, you know, a lot of people are still coming to grips with this. A lot of the liberals, a lot of the corporate media, they're trying to deal with this and find some way to restore their reputation, their credibility, or just, you know, they're off in their little safe rooms with their Play-Doh and their bubble wrap and whatever it is that they're doing. But you know, this was this thrilling conspiracy theory. That's what it was. It was a conspiracy theory that the highest levels of the U.S. government had been infiltrated by the Kremlin. And it had no truth to it at all. I mean, our government has been infiltrated by Israel at its highest level. No question about that. But hey, no big deal about that. But those Russian, you know, Israeli infiltration is good, and Russian infiltration, that's bad. So anyway, the left is really struggling with this thing. And the biggest problem facing the corporate elites, whether it's corporate media or the corporations that back the liberals, is how to emerge from this crisis with their power and reputations intact. Good luck on that last one. Now, you've got basically, Russiagate was never about substance. It's about who gets to image manage the story. And the leaders of the Democratic Party are less terrified of Trump and what he represents than they are of we the people and what we might do now that we understand how much they have rigged the political and economic system to their permanent advantage. And there probably is the biggest lesson out of Russiagate. The extent to which we're being lied to. I used to hold up ClimateGate as an example of a wide-ranging conspiracy to defraud the people. Well, ClimateGate just got pushed down to second place, and Russiagate, that's it. Look how many people took part in this massive lie. All of the corporate media, the Hillary Clinton campaign, the DNC, all the Democrats, just churning it and churning it and churning it, and they were just out for blood here. And now it's over. And the news media and the national security state, the intelligence agencies, Democrats have a lot to answer for. So let's see. Tar, check. Feathers, check. Rope, check. Rails, check. Yep, about time to do that. Rudy Giuliani is demanding that Cuomo apologize for the collusion hype. Good luck on that one. You're not going to see any of these people apologize. I mean, look at Zucker over at CNN. No, we were doing our job right. You know, we have nothing to apologize for. But Giuliani is saying we need to find out who is responsible. And he's absolutely right about that. I never thought I would agree with Giuliani on anything, but he's absolutely right. Now, I think probably a lot of people who were caught up in the Russiagate narrative acted in good faith. They actually believed it was true. They were lied to. They wanted to believe the lie, which doesn't excuse them believing the lie, but they got lied to. What we're looking for are the people who said, let's come up with this phony story about how Russia helped Trump win the election so we can explain away why Hillary was unable to win the most rigged election in recent history, which is basically what we're talking about here. All right. Rand Paul wants Obama officials investigated for inventing the Russian conspiracy hoax. And yes, they may have had a part of it. And apparently Clapper is crumbling. We may start to be seeing the unwinding of all of this, the unwinding of the deep state. James Clapper was on CNN saying that Obama was the one who ordered the investigation into the Trump campaign. Well, the finger pointing has begun, by golly, and may it endure forever, or at least until we get all the bad guys here. Jerome Corsi is opting to continue his legal fight against Mueller and fellow prosecutors with a bar complaint for prosecutorial misconduct and a $350 million lawsuit. They have to pay for this, Corsi told the Washington Examiner on Monday. Yes, he should do this. You know, it's the GOP's turn at bat. The liberals had their shot. The Russiagate people had their shot. The corporate media had their shot. Now it is time for payback. And we're not talking about revenge here, because revenge can be a waste of time. We're talking about setting a precedent so that nobody in the future dares lie to the American people to this extent ever again. We're going to do a shout out now to our on-air affiliates who are just now rejoining our network, and we're talking about the continuing fallout from the release of the Mueller report and how the lefties are still desperate to hang on to it. And we know there was collusion. We believe there was collusion. Miss Cleo told me there was. Here. Okay, over in Rachel Maddow land, her ratings have dropped 20% over the last 2 days. Well, why not? The release of the Mueller report proved that she shamelessly deceived her audience for more than 2 years. And Rachel Maddow, I mean, she was the Russia hoax queen. She was Grand Central Station for all the stories about Russia collusion here. And so she's lost 20% of her audience so far. She may continue to lose more of her audience because I'm sure her viewers right now are going to be watching her and saying, well, let's see. She lied to us shamelessly about Trump's Russia collusion. Are we sure she's telling us the truth about whatever it is she's talking about at that moment? That's going to be the big problem here. Now, out here in Hawaii, we have a Senator, Mazie Hirono. And she's out there saying that Putin must be really happy about the Mueller investigation, finding no conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia. And basically went on to attack the idea that there's a cozy relationship between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. There used to be. You know, we were getting along good with Russia. This whole Russiagate hoax has damaged our relationship with Russia for the long term. And I don't think Putin and Trump are buddy-buddy anymore. But Hirono, who's unwilling to let go of it, is out there saying, you know, this friendship between Trump and Putin, it's not good for our country. Now, remember, this is from the same senator who did not know it's illegal for immigrants to step across our border without permission. So I wouldn't give her too much weight on this one. Now, here's an interesting little question, and it came out of Zero Hedge. Did Mueller know there was no Trump-Russia collusion before the midterms? Now, you think about that, because the Democrats were campaigning on Russiagate, you know, right up to the casting of the ballots in November. If Mueller had released his report before that, the GOP would still be in control of the House of Representatives. There's no question Russiagate influenced the election in the favor of the Democrats. Well, here's the follow-up, because apparently Justice Department insiders have basically confirmed that the special counsel team concluded in August of last year that there was no collusion, and they started winding down their investigation at that point. So Mueller finished the probe months before the midterms and kept silent while the Democrats swept the midterm elections. How's that for politics? How's that for meddling right there? We don't have to go to Russia to find meddling in our elections. Right there, Robert Mueller here. So a lot of people are now starting to ask, after Google manipulated search results and the leftist media hawked the Russian collusion hoax, should we do the midterm elections all over again? It's not as absurd as you might think when you realize how much rigging there was, how many illegal immigrants were voting, how much election fraud there was. Yeah, I think we ought to have the midterms done over again. And make sure no illegals vote. Make sure those machines aren't cheating. And basically remind everybody that Donald Trump, at least as far as the Russian collusion situation is concerned, he was innocent. Now, President Trump's personal lawyer, Jay Sekulow, is denying that Congress has a legitimate legislative interest in seeking the president's tax return. And so there's probably going to be another legal standoff over documents. And what's going on here? They don't know that there's anything there. This is more of the fishing expedition. The Democrats are just trying to move the goalposts. Okay, so the Russian collusion thing didn't work out. Let's talk about his tax returns. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about all this other stuff. Let's talk about health care. And they're still on the attack here. And, you know, I'm waiting to see what Trump is going to do. And, you know, remember the one time, this was a huge embarrassment, Rachel Maddow got a leaked copy of one of Trump's tax returns, and that turned out to be a nothing burger. So, now, earlier, we were seeing all these Democrats who are out there screaming for the full Mueller report to be released, just screaming for